You got a yearbook?
Yeah, it's like $90 there now, man.
What?
Yeah.
What's gonna be in it?
Let's see. Everything that's important to us in school. I want to say pep rally, clubs, sports, teachers, everything. Think about it. Yearbook, man.
You said how much again?
$90.
I'll look into it.
Right.
You have a deadline?
I think after the spring break.
After spring break?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Good.
Good morning, and thanks for making Tiger TV Network your choice for news and information here at Middleton High. I'm Brianna Ashley.
And I'm Ariana Carrera.
And I'm Enrique Ferrer, anchoring from home this morning as a Tiger TV e-learner. Topping news this Friday, February 19th, Gorilla Glue in the hair. It's the incident everyone is talking about. Here's Tiger TV's Devon Schumacher with more.
Good morning, Tiger TV. My name is Devin Schumacher, an e-learner here with a very interesting story about a 40-year-old woman named Tessica Brown. In the past week, she went viral after posting a video on TikTok showing her very unfortunate predicament of having her hair superglued. It turns out a month prior to styling her hair into a sleek ponytail, she had run out of her normal hairspray and instead used Gorilla Glue adhesive, leaving her in a very sticky situation. However, on February 10th, she finally got relief after going through a painstaking 4-hour, $12,500 procedure to recover her hair. No initial damage was seen to her scalp, but it left many wondering what harm superglue could do to one's hair. To get answers to these questions, I'm tossing things to my colleague, Kendall Johnson.
Thanks, Devin. Joining me this morning is Dr. Kim Gray White, a family practitioner who practices here in Tampa. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Dr. Gray White, what long-term effects could the incident on the surgery have on the young lady?
Okay, the use of the Gorilla Glue first can cause scarring alopecia, known as hair loss. And it can also cause permanent hair loss due to the follicle destruction caused by the glue. And as you know, with most hair loss, it only worsens and it can become more progression over a time period. So it actually causes the scalp, which is the layer. And I'm just going to give you a little just anatomy. When we talk about the scalp, we're talking about the area of skin, not including the face. So we're looking at from the forehead to the neck. And so the area that we're looking at is the skin. And so the follicles are what the hair grow off. So when you are applying any kind of glue or any adhesions or anything to the actual scalp, it affects that part of the follicle, which is where your hair is growing. So it can cause permanent to hair loss because of the destruction of the follicles.
Okay. Could the chemicals in the Gorilla Glue bring about future health concerns?
They can. Because Gorilla Glue and most adhesion glues contain what we call polyurethane. And so it's almost like a cross sensitivity or a cross reaction. So if you develop a sensitivity to that Gorilla Glue in the future, just say the person has a laceration or a laceration or cut that requires us to use, instead of stitches, to use Dermabond, which is another form of glue adhesive that we use to cause skin to come together. So it is a likelihood that you may develop a rash because of the fact that there's polyurethane in most of all the other adhesive glues. So you can develop a rash at that area.
Okay. And what kind of surgery would the operation to remove the glue be classified as?
Okay, to remove the glue, the surgery that was performed was actually a chemical surgery. So essentially he used different oils like aloe, he mentioned aloe, and other forms of aloe oil, and he combined them with acetone. And the acetone solution together actually allowed him to break the adhesions between the hair and the scalp, and actually to remove the actual glue. So it wasn't it was a chemical breakdown, and he focused on the main ingredient, which was polyurethane.
Okay. And then lastly, what chemical could cause permanent damage to hair or hair follicles?
Lye-based relaxers or perms and permanent hair color, because those can actually damage the follicle and also cause a lot of dryness to the scalp.
Okay. Almost anyone who used Gorilla Glue or similar glue has the substance stick to a finger or two. Are you able to give guidance on the best way to remove high-strength glue from hands and fingers?
Yes, one of the best ways is just not to get the glue on there. But if you're trying to remove it, pouring the acetone, it's even happened to me using Crazy Glue, because Crazy Glue is just another level of the Gorilla Glue. And basically, if you pour acetone, 100% acetone, but leave it on that area for some seconds before you try to pull the actual fingers or the hand, whichever particles apart.
Thanks, Devin. In other news, we are nearly 2 weeks removed from the Bucs' historic win in Super Bowl 55. We reported how a Milton Tiger took part in the halftime show with the performer of the weekend. And we finally caught up with Trey Kwan Davis to get the scoop on that experience. He spoke one-on-one with Tiger TV's Jamila Malave.
Good morning, Tigers. I'm Jamila Malave. Everyone on campus has been talking about the Super Bowl halftime show with The Weeknd, but not just because it was with The Weeknd, but because one of our Tigers made history for performing in the production. Joining me this morning is Middleton Senior and TV production staff, Traquan Davis. Traquan, thanks for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
So, how was your experience performing with The Weeknd?
Honestly, it was a good opportunity, He was very cool on the set, and he gave us all the steps to perfect the dances, that it was just a cool vibe,
Yeah, and what mindset did you set for yourself before going out to perform?
To be honest with you, I didn't have no mindset. I just went out there and just did me and just do what I love.
Have you ever imagined yourself in a moment where you can show off something you really love to do and end up performing with a celebrity?
All the time. As a kid, I always loved dancing, so that being the opportunity that I can, I can just show people around the world what I can do. So it was nothing.
And if you can go back and relive in that moment, is there anything you feel like you can do better, or do you feel like this has boosted up your confidence?
Absolutely nothing. It was a vibe, we had fun, I did everything good. So, yeah.
Kwan, thanks for joining us this morning. Christy, I toss things back over to you.
This morning, we continue our celebration of Black History Month with a one-on-one interview with a man whose name you see every day displayed in the land of the Tigers. Mr. Henry Shake Washington returned to our campus to reminisce about his time as a Middleton student and explain how he got the nickname Shake. He joins reporter Jahari McPhee in Studio B.
Hello, Mr. Washington. Where did you get the nickname Shake, and when did you start using it as a name?
Well, I got the nickname Shake from playing ball in high school. I was a four-letterman in high school. I played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track. But my renowned sport was basketball, and I got the name Shake because I had a stop-and-go move, and they started calling me Shake from that point. And at first I didn't too much like it, but now it's a name that everybody acknowledges, Shake Washington. And sometimes you can say Henry Washington, people won't know me, I think my son or something, but when you say Shake, they know that's me. So I picked it up from sports, and it's been following me all my life.
Okay. When is your fondest memory of being a Middleton Tiger?
I think besides playing Blake High School, the fondest memory was when we had integration, the first year of integration in 1968, and we played Jesuit, and Jesuit, #2 ranked team in the state of Florida, and we played at Phillip Field Stadium, and one side was all white and the other side was all black, and at the halftime they had us 25-0, the #2 ranked team in the state. When the game was over, we beat them 47-25 now through 4 touchdown passes.
Okay. How has Middleton shaped the man that you become?
Middleton High School, because see, back the days when I was being reared up, we had role models, we had men, the coaches, Coach Belter, Coach Ronnie Brown, Coach Bronco Smith, Coach Sullivan, even the coaches at Blake High School, Coach Big Jim Williams, they were role models for us, and they set the tone how we should act as gentlemen. And also the community people. You know, we lived in a neighborhood. If you did something in the neighborhood that was not appropriate, they would go and tell. Even though my mother died when I was a little boy, so they used to tell my father. So we had role models, and that's how it shaped my life. And that's why I think it's so important to be a leader in the community, to shape young men's lives and young ladies.
Okay. A lot of my peers face challenges as they try to make it through high school, and we think our challenges are more serious than your generation had to face. Do you agree with that? And if not, how did you overcome challenges you faced in high school?
Okay, I agree. You have more challenges now because racism is still alive and in color. It hasn't gone away. But your challenges are quite different from the challenges I had. Your challenges now, you have a lot more to do. When I was being reared up, you didn't have a lot to do, you know, and then you always had somebody watching you at all times, so you really couldn't get out and act up or do the things you really. But now it's so much to do, and it gives you a variety of things that you can do, and you have more challenges because you have more competition now than we had. Because when I was in high school, we had two black schools in Tampa, Blake and Milton, and we had Marshall and Plant City. But now look at all the schools you have. That's why as a person you really got to strive and be very hard because you got more challenges now and you have to overcome them by being educated.
If you can go back in time, what's one thing you would change about your years in high school?
If I could go back in time, what I would change, what I would like to see change in high school is have 9th grade. Because when I came to high school, we had 10, 11, and 12. We didn't have a 9th grade. Our 9th grade was junior high. In junior high, we had 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And I would like to have started high school a little bit earlier because I think that would have given me more opportunity to mature as an athlete and academically too.
Now that you're a school board representative, how do you plan on using your position to better help students at Middleton?
What I want to do for Middleton, because this is my baby. I came to school here, I became a principal here. I want equity at Middleton High School. I want each and every student to have an opportunity to learn. Because equity, when you look at equity, it looks like it's not fair because somebody has something more than you do. But that's one that makes you successful in life is having equity. I want equity in education for my students here. I want equity in discipline for my students. And I want them to have the opportunity to be successful just like other students in Hillsborough County. And Middleton High School closed down in '71. You know why we closed down? I want the students to understand this. We closed down because we wanted equality. So they said, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you equality. We don't give you what you want. We don't give you equality. We don't close your school down and send you to the other schools. And they closed Middleton High School as well as Blake down, and they sent us to all the other schools, Plant and Robertson. And then they said, you got equality. I don't want equality. I want equity for students. So each and every student can be successful in life.
All of our Tigers are watching. What's the final thought you'd like to leave them with?
What I want to tell the Tigers is, look, life is hard. Nobody's not going to give you anything in life. Everything you work for in life, you got to go out and work hard for it. And when you see people successful, don't think it just popped out the sky. Because it's very difficult in life and people are not going to treat you fair. When you become an adult, it's going to be way more difficult. So you need to get that high school diploma. No matter what, you should get a high school diploma. Work hard. You don't have to go to college, get you a productive job in society. Go to a career center. Pick up a job. Pick up whatever you need so you can be a productive citizen in life. I was fortunate. I was an athlete. God blessed me to be an athlete. So I went through college and went to the military, played ball in the military. So I had a lot going for me because whatever God gave me to use, I used it. And you should do the same thing. Whatever the talent they give you, use that talent to be successful.
Having lived, learned, and experienced, knowing what you know, What would you tell yourself in high school?
What I would tell myself in high school from my years of experience and coming back, I want students to be, I want them to know all of your years of experience adds up for you to be successful. Because it gives you ability to have your experience, it gives you ability to deal with people in a positive way, not a negative way. And also, last but not least, it gives you the ability to want to come back to your community and give back all the things that you have received from your community.
Okay. Coming to the studio, Mr. A.P. Washington. Tiger assistant.
Oh, what's going on?
Principal, Mr. Henry Washington Jr. What is it like having a legend as your dad?
Oh man, so he was my role model growing up, and I need to come in some. Okay. He was my role model growing up, and I had someone positive to look up to. Also, with everyone in Tampa knowing my dad, sometimes it was always not the best situation because I would go places and people would see me and notice me, even when I was just kind of hanging out on my own free time. But overall, it's great. My dad set a good name for me and my family, and I hope to carry on that name and be a positive leader in the community, and as he was also.
Okay, thank you. I'm Jahari McPhee. Now back to you in Studio A. Tigers, one final note before I step away. We are surrounded by the legacy of Mr. Henry Shake Washington every day here in the land of the Tigers. Our auditorium bears his name, so remember to think of him and the example he set when we are on campus. And now for our sports report, here, Jameer Shine with a couple of Tiger basketball players following the end of their season.
I'm Jameer Shine with Tiger TV Network, and we're here with
Antoine Jackson, Jaden Parker,
to talk to them about their basketball season. How has it been playing this season?
It started off pretty rough, not gonna lie.
It was hard because I didn't even have a starting spot at first, until the end of the season, because I progressed and I got better.
How do you think everybody played on the team this season?
I'd say it's a little questionable on what was going through their mind.
I'd say we could have been better than 5 and 8.
Thanks, Jameer. I'm Cameron Williams, and on this Friday, I'm highlighting track and field. This past Wednesday, our Tiger track team had a try-meet at Leonard High School against Freedom and Leonard. Our track team excelled for their first meet of the year, which leads to high hopes for the rest of the season. In the first video, we have the 100-meter dash. Our Tigers, Jermaine Everett in lane 3, Jaquez Peacock in lane 4, me in lane 5, and Jahari McPhee in lane 7, with me and Jaquez placing in the top 3. Now for the next event, we have Chris Tompkins coming in first for the 4x400. And right after him, we have Deshaun Hodges coming in first for the 300-meter hurdles. That's all for track. Now here's Eli Schmiegel and Ashton Caldwell.
Thank you. My name is Ashton Caldwell.
And I'm Eli Schmiegel.
Our Tigers have a busy week next week with our baseball team taking on Spoto here at Middleton next Tuesday.
And on Thursday, our Tigers take on King at King.
Both games start at 7 p.m., so don't forget to buy tickets and show our Tigers some Middleton spirit. Good luck out there, Tigers.
I'm Eli Schmiegel.
And I'm Ashton Caldwell.
Join us here next week, same time, same place, in the land of the mighty Tigers. Now back to you, Studio A.
Thanks, Eli and Ashton, and thank you for making Tiger TV your choice for news and information here in the land of the Tigers. I'm Ariana Carrera.
I'm Brianna Ashley.
And I'm Enrique Ferrer. Join us again next week, same time, same place, and same channel. Until then,
make it a great rest of the day in the land of the mighty Tigers. Have a great weekend.
Go, go, go.